Good morning. It's the Mortgage Athlete with your host Tracy Hayes and my good friend Tom Reber.
Good morning.
We have a special guest here, one of the top loan officers in Northeast Florida, Jeremy Peters, and he's going to be joining us. And he has a great story that we want to lead in, get kicked off here, because his customer came by the office with a nice cake, which we really didn't need, but the gift that he didn't share with the rest of us was a nice bottle. So hopefully he can explain that. But Jeremy, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Glad to have you on. Tom, you have something to kick us off with, a good thought?
Yes, 5-star mortgage athlete. Jeremy Peters is here today. So glad to have you on the show, Jeremy.
Glad
You've
to
been
be
with us
here.
for quite some time.
Yeah, 15 years.
15 years.
Ooh.
Your resume, your performance, your delivery is unmatched.
Thank you.
I was so excited yesterday. We had a really unique moment in our office yesterday, and Jeremy's customer actually came in to the office, brought you a cake, a wonderful hug, and a thank you for a job well done. That's a rare treat.
It
It's
is.
a
It doesn't
thankless
happen
job
very
sometimes.
often.
Yes, sir. Tell us how did
Yeah,
you
give us some
acquire that
details. Yeah.
So Lori and Johnny Miller, I worked with them in 2008 was the last time I worked with them. And so she called me about 2 months ago and said she was looking for a second home in Itchitucky area, Fort White.
Yep.
And so and it was a unique situation because there was no realtors. And so, that makes it a little more difficult
Yep.
because you have the realtors that normally help to navigate,
Oh, yeah.
getting the contracts with the title company and stuff like that. So we went through the process and got towards the end, and the title company apparently forgot to order the survey.
Oh, boy.
And so then the survey got ordered, but they got it done in 24 hours.
Wow.
Which was
In
amazing.
That's
Fort
great.
White?
Yeah, in Fort White.
How about that?
Yeah. They
Do we
went
have a
out
good
the same
title
day.
company connection that kind of put the fire on them, or we just got lucky?
I had never worked with a title company before, to be honest with you, but they did a good job at the end. I mean, they made it happen.
Yeah, that's impressive.
And I actually was in the Bahamas and was working with Lori while I was in the Bahamas. So, that's one of the things that I do. I
Yeah.
work all the time.
Yeah.
And I think a good loan officer will always do that. And so I'm always available.
Yeah.
And she realized the effort
Yeah.
that was put into getting the deal done, and she thanked me by coming in and delivering a cake and a bottle of bourbon.
So, yes, sir. Well, again, first of all, you're amazing at what you do. I've been working with you a long time. Your delivery, your experience that you give the customer is unmatched. Your support team, how you navigate, explain the details of the transaction.
Well, I feed off this guy. Tom Reber is amazing as well.
Give me
So,
some.
yeah.
Break your knuckles
and
there.
It's the delivery of the experience in the home buying journey, whether it's new construction or a resale. The four corners that you cover to get to that point is incredible, but the denouement, the very end, is where it's at. And you were in the Bahamas and pulled this off. The triple Lindy made it look easy, and that's awesome. And that's talent. It's a rare bird.
It's all about the time and effort. I mean, honestly,
Yes, sir.
going a little above and beyond. So,
Let's transition into a little bit of what we see in the market. Tom, you and I have been meeting with agents on a weekly basis in small groups, doing some collaboration, and they're having some unique challenges.
Yes.
So, Jeremy, being our guest, I mean, have you seen recently, as Tom and I have, as we're discussing with these agents, just some a little more hair to some of these deals, a little more puzzle pieces, if you want to say, and trying to structure some of these deals to make them work?
I have, but that's one thing that Tom knows. I'm good at
He's
finding a way to get deals done that most people can't get done. I mean, honestly, 20% of my deals are deals that other lenders could not get done.
Right.
And then, I find a way to get it done, but playing it is great at, solving problems on deals that other lenders couldn't do. And so they're
Well-
good at thinking outside the box.
That to that point, Jeremy is exactly right. I would probably say Jeremy's probably about 40% of his business comes from the second chance opportunities, and he's able to go into the details of the technicals of the guidelines, the actual customer to help them find ways to get their transaction in position to win, and that's why his referral partners love him so much. Is that they know that the Jeremy Peters delivery and experience is much more than just, hey, thank you for the business. I'm going to help you get to the finish line.
Well, Tom knows I don't take no for an
Hates
answer.
no.
Yeah.
No is
It's
not
not
good
part
for
of my
Jeremy.
vocabulary.
He snaps nose like this.
Yeah.
When you gain so much, your years in the business, you've seen what has possibilities,
Yeah.
and that's what I found in the volume. You look at a deal, and go, this has all, it may be hairy, it's got some extra things to it, but I've seen these things close in the past, so let's keep pressing on.
Well, that's part of the experience. I mean, I've been doing this for 25 years,
Yes, sir.
30 years plus.
Yes, sir.
And so I can look at a deal that somebody else that hasn't been doing it for a long time and figure out how to do it.
Key point. He knows how to find the gold in the cracks.
Yeah.
And he sees 3D. He looks at income, asset, credit. And he can see into the transaction and find the cracks of opportunities to see the gold.
Yeah.
He had a transaction the week before. It was very tough. It was over $1 million deal.
Yeah.
Very difficult customer. Customer really, really wanted the property. Dealing with a wealth advisor, dealing with getting equity out of their current home, just all kinds of moving parts. And he found a way to pull that off. So you've had 2 for 2 in 2 weeks that were outstanding deliveries.
Yeah, it was another one I worked in the Bahamas.
Yeah, he was in the Bahamas, and actually we collaborated a little bit, played a little good cop, bad cop.
Oh, yeah.
But at the end of the day, we were able to get the listing agent, the selling agent, and the borrower along with the closing agent to collaborate together and make this happen.
Well, the great thing is we were on the phone with the underwriter
Yes, sir.
and, talking about the deal and, figuring out how to get it done. So,
Access to information, speed, and the technicals of information to get it done, the confidence to get it over the goal line is what kept everybody to the table on that, because we had to push to closing for 2 days to allow money to be sent, go through the wiring process, and get to the table.
yeah,
And there was a lot of people saying it's not going to happen. You didn't back down.
I don't back down.
You don't back
Never.
down. That's my man right there. So those stories in itself of just tenacity, Tracy, is what separates the good loan officers from the exceptional. That's what I look at.
Yeah.
Well, another thing about Planet that's great is you can actually talk to an underwriter. I mean, places we've been before,
Access
you
to
can't do
information.
that. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, and that makes a huge difference. They actually want you to call the underwriter, which is amazing.
Well, to brag a little bit about Plan, I know you two have assistants, but the processing team is on top of it.
Yes.
I'm the type that I hand the file over and I tell the processor they're now in charge. You tell me what you need me to do for you to get it done. And I found they just take the initiative and get it done. They're not sending it back to you for some dot the I over here, then send it back to me type stuff.
Right.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
I've been places before where I'm processing.
Exactly.
Yeah, I'm doing the processing and I'm originating, and I mean it's tough to do that, and you don't have to do that here.
Yeah.
Without a doubt.
Yeah.
Tracy, back to the market. We're in the middle of chaos. It's a buyer's market, dare I say. Dare I say we're officially in a buyer's market. And we're seeing, the velocity slow down with regards to transactions, no doubt. However, this is where the cream rises to the top. This is where strong mortgage athletes and strong real estate agents and strong builders that really know how to package up value and attentive to details will continue to rise to the top. So
Well, there's no doubt. I mean, on the Real Estate Excellence podcast where I'm interviewing the top agents, there's a reason why 70% did not write a deal in 24, agent-wise. And the challenge is because the cream of the crop are taking these little extra steps, having a little more deeper buyer consultations or seller consultations. Why do you need to sell? How are you going to buy? Do we need to get it's a buyer's market. Do we need to get a buy down to give you that lower payment so hopefully in the next 12, 24 months rates will drop and refi to a fixed rate. These things are the strategery that needs to go on. And that's why I think you're seeing really 25% of the agents are the ones doing all the deals.
well, there's no doubt.
Yeah.
And today the collaboration between as well with our good insurance agent partners into the mix.
Yep.
Home inspectors, insurance agents obviously go along with our referral partners, our real estate agents, along with our builders and customers, having to collaborate. Somebody's got to be a QB1. Who is that going to be? Jeremy Peters is a classic example of what it takes to be quarterback and orchestrate the transaction and play. On to, ready, break. We didn't get the first down on the first play, but we're going to reconvene and do it again. And that's the tenacity that separates a true mortgage athlete from just an application taker.
Yeah. Yeah. The agents are seeing a lot more, as we have here with our deals, it's because they're having here with their, pre-occupancies or the seller actually wants to sell right now, but they need another 60 days in the house because their house is being built, whatever. All these things are going on, and the agents, need to, like I said, collaborate with the mortgage athlete to make these things win.
Well, and that's exactly right. Some of this, whether it's pre-occupancy, whether it's understanding the reason why the customers have to make a delay, or the customer, the seller that's actually has to stay in the house, that transparency to privacy working together is super critical to our successes, because that collaboration amongst all parties is why we're winning today. Because none of these deals are easy. Some of these deals a couple years ago, with most loan officers that work at big box companies that really don't understand the nuances, would say, I'm out. So great job to Jeremy Peters for being able to say, hey, bring it to me.
Thank you.
I'm going to go the extra mile to get the job done. Purchase Edge Guarantee, buy now, sell later programs are all the topic today. We have those here at Plano Home Lending, which are transaction makers. We also have FHA, VA, and conventional construction perm loans. Love the VACP loan. We just did a deal 2 weeks ago where we closed a $1.1 million total acquisition, new construction. The veteran came to the closing table with less than $16,000. Most people don't think you can do those.
Yeah.
It is an absolute gem of an opportunity.
Yep.
There's no payments.
No payments during construction.
Yeah.
No payments during construction. You make the piggy bank, the builder, the borrower, the veteran goes to Plano Home Lending, and we just sit there and pass out draw checks with inspections to make sure it's done appropriately. Everything is done right. It's incredible.
I want to go around the horn a little bit, because I think obviously a question we get all the time, as the agents do too, and any consumers, home buyers, they're asking us these questions. What do we think our rates are going to do, and so forth. The only thing we can deal with is what we have obviously right in front of us right now. I think we all could say, whether it's in 3 months or a year or 2 years now, rates are eventually going to go down, because if 10 was our highest, we're probably at 8 to 9 right now that we've seen since 22 when the rates went up. Jeremy, how do you respond to a customer, especially when, like, should I buy now? They're hesitant. They're looking at the rate. You're quoting the rate, and they're, how do you kind of soften it up? What are some of the techniques you do to kind of let them know that, hey, it's better to buy now, because if you wait till rates drop, you're going to pay another $30,000-$40,000 for the same house?
Well, I mean, the way I look at it, and for those of you that are watching right now, marry the house, date the rate. It's a buyer's market, like Tom said.
Yep.
And right now, you have room for negotiation on price. You can get a credit towards closing costs. You could try and get the seller to help cover a temporary buy down or a permanent buy down. Yep. So I mean, you wait until the rates go down. Everybody's buying, and now it's a seller's market.
Yep.
You're paying 10, 15 over asking. You're not negotiating, because sellers have 5, 6, 7 offers, and you're going to 10 different houses and placing offers before you get one accepted. So I mean, I think it's a good time to buy, and then 6 months, 12 months from now, look at refinancing. You can do a temporary buy down, get a rate 1%, 2%, 3% lower.
Yes, sir.
And you might be able to get the seller to pay for it.
Tangible benefit.
Yeah. In the strategy of that. I think it would give more buyers a peace of mind, for the agents listening and people looking to buy a home, to actually strategize before actually going out and looking. So you're going out and looking with a little more confidence. I mean, you can get approved for a loan, but how are we going to do it? How are we going to get you through the next 12, 24 months with a reasonable payment until we can match the rate, because that's what we all hope and foresee happening. But to really sit down with a mortgage athlete and have that discussion. Would you agree, Tom?
I would 100% agree, Tracy, and I think Jeremy's point, he brings up a lot there with regards to tangible benefit to the borrower, tangible benefit to the seller. They work in concert. Buyers and sellers have the same goal, right? So we have to provide tangible benefits. What's the most effective use of money to be able to solve? Because payment shock is real. Payment shock is real. I have a customer today who's renting a house for $2,900. He wants to buy a house for $600,000. He's going, holy cow, the payment shock is real. The landlord of that house is going to sell that house. He's been renting it for $2,900 for 3 years. The landlord says, I'm selling the house. Congratulations. You've got 45 days to either buy or get out. The buyer goes, I love the house. I don't want to move twice. I want to buy. Well, the new freight is $4,300. Payment shock. Hello. But he's a veteran. He doesn't have to move twice. And the seller is willing to collaborate and say, you can buy this house with no down payment or no closing costs. We're on board to help you. We want you to buy the house. The veteran now who's been living there for 3 years has to make a tough decision. I now have to accept the payment shock because what was great 3-4 years ago is not so great today because the velocity of money has changed. How do you provide tangible benefit for the change? And that is either buy downs, like you said, or having open dialogue between the real estate agents / athletes, real estate athletes working together, transparency to privacy with regards to the reason why we can make this work. And that's why the cream rises to the top, both on the mortgage athlete side as well as the real estate athlete side, working together to find the answers of tangibility to make a transaction work for the right reasons. And yes, it's a buyer's market, so there are ways to do this. And by the way, all parties are open to this actual dialogue to make it work. It can be done. So the velocity of money's flowing, houses are selling, locations are still relatively hot. But at the end of the day, if you have the aptitude to provide tangible benefit, you will make transactions happen. And that's the importance of today.
We've mentioned VA several times here in our conversation already. I want you to share with us. We've talked to many of the agents at our little collaboration lunches. We have these assumptions that are out there, but a lot of these homeowners have got some equity in their home. Tell them how to possibly present to the seller about doing a little holdback second.
It's probably one of them. We really haven't used this since 1992, and I'm dating myself a little bit here, but I've been doing this a long time. Seller held seconds are so cool. And they're so important because most of the time a listing agent has not asked their home buyer or their homeowner, what are you going to do with your equity? It's a crazy good question. Why? Because if they say, I'm going to make $200,000 on the sale of this house, and their house has a 2.5 VA loan on it today, and they're going to make $200,000, what are they going to do with the $200,000? Well, I'm not sure yet because I didn't ask the question. Ask the question. Well, I really am going to just bank it. Okay, so you're going to take that $200,000 and technically put it into a savings account or an account and make less than 2% or whatever your money is on it. Imagine saying, hey, I've got a 2.5% assumable VA loan with qualifying. And we bought the house for $200,000, we're going to sell it for $400,000, we have a $200,000 gap. I'm going to sit there and say, if I'm the listing agent, I'd say, hey, have you thought about seller held second? Well, what do you mean? We can literally help you make compound interest ongoing in a second position on a home that you have right now with this first. All of a sudden, the gap is no longer a challenge, and there's different ways you can do that. But compound interest to the seller is important. Just think, $150,000 gap second mortgage making $1,500 a month on top of their $1,500 payment, so it's $3,000 instead of $4,000. So they say everybody wins. That seller held second is the gift that keeps on giving to the seller because where else are they going to make that type of return on investment?
What are some recommendations when you're talking to an agent who's talking to a seller? Okay, I'm willing to do it. Do you think it's good for them to have? Because you're not going to go to 100% of the value. You're not going to take the risk the bank may take or the VA would take on going there. But that's second. But the getting this buyer to maybe come up with 5 or 10% down, depending on where they feel
10,
comfortable.
In that particular case, you're looking at about 20. You're looking at $50,000. So $200,000 payoff. Gap is $200,000. You need $150. They have $50,000 worth of skin in the game to make sure that everybody's on the up and up.
Right.
But most people that are looking to get that type of purchase can usually come up with $50,000. It's hard to come up with $200,000.
Well, I think it's a savvy buyer may actually be looking at a savvy real estate agent will set someone up to win
100%
in that situation.
It's empowerment.
Yeah.
It's empowerment with confidence. You have to, let's not forget our wonderful real estate agents, real estate attorneys and title companies that are in tune. If you don't have a few real estate agents that you have on speed dial to call and talk to, This is where you get your confidence and swagger. And this is why it's so important to have the collaboration amongst all parties for the right reasons.
And for those out there who are worried about the risk, I apologize. I didn't. Crap! I knocked out the camera. Hold on a second. I didn't. Do. We are back on. Okay. For those who are never dealt in this world,
Yep.
little nervous about it.
Of course.
Our title companies,
Yep.
David Heekin, I know you've
Yep.
got another
Yeah, you got
lawyer.
David Heekin,
They
David-
will structure the paperwork for this second and create this second mortgage. There's really not a lot to do. There are experts there that'll help you for really nothing at all to put this deal together.
As long as they get to be a part of the transaction and get paid a fee for service for the right reasons, everybody's on board with it. It's
Right.
very straightforward. It's commonplace. It's been going on for years. Like I said, I've been doing mortgages for 35 plus years. When I was in the throes of this back in '92, this was all the rage.
Yeah.
Guess what happens? Things come back around. Things come back around. And today, it's a great opportunity that most people don't realize can be done
Yeah.
to medicate an opportunity for the right reason for both buyer and seller.
Well, it goes back to what Jeremy was saying earlier. It's a buyer's market.
Yes, sir.
Well, when you're offering a 2.5% interest rate and holding a second, you're now a seller who's back in charge.
Correct.
You don't necessarily have to discount as much.
You don't have to go
Yeah.
down the sales price because your product stands on its own 2 feet. You're going to come into this and you're going to medicate the opportunity for the right reasons. Everybody wins. It becomes truly earning your fee for service with collaboration.
Mhm.
I like it.
Anything else you guys want to add today?
Well, I'll like to finish with a cup of tea.
Of course, we're going to get there. We're going to get
Oh,
to the
we're not
cup of
there
Tom.
yet. All
We're going to
right.
get to Jeremy. Do you want to add it?
Just everybody have a great weekend.
All right, appreciate it. All right, so we'll finish up with a little cup of Tom.
Well, Jeremy, thank you for being on the show today. We love it. You're
My
amazing.
pleasure, buddy.
Cup of Tom. So, a little cup of Tom with chicory. If you're not willing to ask the appropriate questions to get the interview done correctly, what's your name, what's your sign, where are you from, equals meaningful conversation, brings income, asset, credit, collateral. Flip it upside down sometimes, like we've been talking about today, and start and re-engineer from the bottom up. Collateral, then get into the income, asset, credit, because sometimes the collateral holds the keys to the opportunity, such as a seller held second, based on the equity position. So with that being said, make sure sometimes you look from the bottom up and you can win your transactions. With that being said, there's your cup of Tom.
I appreciate that, Tom, and everyone listening. Listen in weekly as we will continue to have shows bringing the best of mortgage athletes here locally in Northeast Florida, but occasionally we'll bring in some from outside the area that we can share and add more tips to your tool belt.
Yes, sir.
And whether you're an agent, another loan officer just looking for a couple extra tips, or a home buyer